This is the Dr. Shoup Show. Talk to the doc and see insider industry info at ddsradio.com.
Well, you can tell everybody. Yeah, you can tell everybody. Go ahead and tell everybody. I'm the man, I'm the man, I'm the man.
Well, as you know, I kind of scour a lot of various research sources, and as you do that over time, you start to have, bits and pieces of these things stick into your brain, and then one kind of connects to another. And we all have talked about autism and about how there has been a lot of accusation, a lot of innuendo in the past that autism was really caused by the mercury in mercury silver fillings. And there was a physician, researcher in Great Britain who touted the thing that it was the mercury in vaccinations that is the cause of autism, and he absolutely fabricated every ounce of his data and research. He completely made up all of the statistics and everything that he did, but yet he was out there, he had information on the internet, and it completely drove true researchers insane because people were wanting them to run down this rabbit hole with Alice in Wonderland, which had no bearing on it whatsoever. But there's two brand new pieces of research that are out that are absolutely fascinating about autism, and here's where we are. A common gene variant accounts for most genetic risks for autism. What we have found is, in science, is that we look at people with autism, and we find, because we have this massive genome project, we can find some very, very spontaneous, on their own, not caused by environmental insult, not caused by noxious agents in the air, not caused by pesticides, not caused certainly by mercury in silver fillings. These are spontaneous mutations in the gene sequencing that produces the symptoms of autism. And here's the big thing. Genetic architecture has remained elusive. Recently, evidence has been mounting that genomes of people with autism are prone to harboring rare mutations, often spontaneous, that exert strong effects and can largely account for particular cases of the autistic disease. Now, you need to couple that with this newest piece of research. Here we go. The love hormone, oxytocin, has a tremendous effect on kids' ability to function socially, the Stanford University researchers report. Children blessed with naturally high levels of oxytocin are more savvy at communicating with others and interpreting social signals or situations, said study author Karen Parker as an assistant professor of psychiatry at Stanford. These people that have low levels of oxytocin are very, very poor socially. They are the kids from the Big Bang Theory. It's all of those people. The findings also showed that oxytocin levels are highly inheritable. Now, this is the key point. Inheritable means it's genetic based, okay? Now, they looked at oxytocin levels on children with autism. Autism is a developmental disorder that causes significant difficulties in social interaction. It affects 1 out of every 68 children in the United States. That is amazingly high, according to the U.S. Centers for Disease Control. Here's what they found out. While oxytocin levels in children with autism were similar to those in unaffected siblings, the children without autism in the study, the researchers did find that increasing oxytocin levels improved social functioning in all three groups of autistic kids, non-autistic kids. It improved everybody's performance. Now, the kids that had regular levels of oxytocin and the autistic kids had regular levels of oxytocin. But if they bombarded the autistic kids with extra oxytocin, okay, then they had much, much better, much improved social skills. So here's the connection. We know that mild genetic alterations, spontaneous mutations, oxytocin requires a receptor site. Okay? Those are all genetically driven issues. If, by chance, autistic kids have genetically altered oxytocin receptor sites, then even if they have good levels of oxytocin, their receptor sites aren't doing very well. And so when they get oxytocin, they don't have enough of it to act socially normally. So I think there's a whole area of research that could look at the oxytocin receptor sites. And because when they boost these kids' oxytocin levels, when they give them oxytocin, you know what? Their social skills improve. It's remarkable. So after you learn and read and think about these things and you start to put the science together, then you can start making these connections and go, oh, well, this is working over here. And hey, this works over here. Is there a connection? And that's how you put these things together.
You're listening to The Dr. Shoup Show. Exclusive insider info, audio, and video is online now at ddsradio.com.